Hey guys, it's your girl Sophia back again with another video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. This video today is going to be about how I lost 43 pounds. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I'm definitely not at the end of my journey. But I do recognize that although I'm not where I want to be, I've come a long way. So I'm going to share with you guys how I was able to lose the 43 pounds that I lost so far. I want to give a disclaimer and just put that out there that I am not a physical health professional in any of its forms. So please consult your doctor if you need to. Please do your own research. I'm an advocate for that. And please do what is best for you, okay? I'm just sharing with you what I did, what was helpful for me on my journey. And hopefully, you know, it can help you as well. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Tip number one is simply deciding to start. This one was interesting because I think whenever you want to change something about yourself, you have a desire to do it, right? Because the feeling is there. So taking that feeling and then turning it into action is where the difficulty lies, right? Deciding to start has been a roller coaster for me. I've gone back and forth and up and down with my weight loss, fitness, health journey. And really, when I finally made the decision that I had to recognize what I was doing to myself, recognize what I was doing and who I was, what lifestyle I was leading, I had to wake up and I had to say to myself, what's good? Like, are you good? Are you okay? You know, there's this, I don't know if it's a meme or like just like some, I'm gonna call it a meme for lack of a better word to use, but basically like this kind of motivational picture with like this quote on it. And I'll insert it if I can find it right here. And it says basically your body's a reflection of your lifestyle or something like that. And when I saw that, it definitely resonated with me. And I think that's the purpose of these things. They're supposed to evoke something from you. And that picture, those words woke me up. I had to come to the realization that you are the way that you are because of what you do. Yeah, we know that, you know, you gain weight by taking in more calories than you expend. We all know that in theory, but actually believing that and having our behaviors make us change our actions because of that is something else. And I wasn't doing that. I was yo-yoing. I would be on it for a while and then off it. Just wasn't being consistent at all. And you know, the saying is around, consistency is key, and that is true. Consistency is key. So being mindful of what was hindering me and what was keeping me from being consistent and trying to change that was so important. That was instrumental. Being consistent, identifying what my problems and my holdups were, and being able to say, girl, you better keep moving. You better keep moving even when you don't want to. Tip number two is listening to your body and honoring your individual needs. So this was big. This one was big. I think that if I listen to my body, things just go so much more smoothly, right? It sounds so easy, but it's easier said than done. So basically, I'm someone that I like to eat. I like to eat. I'm not someone that really has a problem with like a sweet tooth or anything like that. I pretty much eat healthy food or real foods or whole foods. Portion size is important for me. So I know that during the day, I'm not necessarily hungry. I'm more so someone that's hungry at night. So that has been a challenge for me. And like, so basically, I'll fast pretty much throughout the day, or I'll wait to have my first meal until like lunch. Sometimes I may just eat dinner, but I prefer to eat more in the evening. Listening to my body with that has been super instrumental in helping me to reach the point where I am right now. It's pretty much like saving all my calories for my favorite meal, I guess, right? It's been really helpful because like, let's say I'll have breakfast, and let's say I have lunch, and then for dinner, then you know, you have some self-control and you have like another small portion or whatever. I don't want that. I don't want that, you know? So being honest with myself, it was like, Sophia, you would rather not eat breakfast and have a sensible lunch, and then for dinner, be able to eat what you want to eat. You know, that doesn't mean that I'm having a burger and fries with pie with bacon and cheese or pizza. That's not what that means. I'm still eating something that is going to be good for my body and nourish my body, that has, you know, balanced ingredients and things like that. But if I want rice, I'm gonna have rice. If I want pasta, I'm gonna have pasta. You know, if I want some gravy on that, I'm gonna put some gravy on that. You know, it's gonna be food that I enjoy to eat, which is the way I cook my food. You know, I have people in my home that want to eat the food that I cook, and I'm not just piling lettuce on the plate for them. I'm not. First of all, they're not gonna have it. So, you know, call it what you want. I'd rather do that. So what a typical day would look like for me is I don't necessarily eat breakfast. And then for lunch, I'll have like a salad or a smoothie or oatmeal or maybe like an egg sandwich or something like that. And then for dinner, I'll have like dinner, rice, meat, vegetable, something like that. And any variation of that. That's pretty much what it looks like for me. And I think that that's what's enabled me to be able to stick to like to remain in a caloric deficit. Because really that's what it's about. It's a numbers game. It's about taking in less calories than you expel, right? So yeah, that's been really helpful for me. Find out what works for you, right? You may be someone that doesn't necessarily want to eat at night. You may be someone that has a sweet tooth, so that may look totally different for you. I don't have a sweet tooth, so I'm not someone that really uses up a lot of calories because I'm having cakes and cookies and things like that. That's not my struggle. So it's easier for me to just have, you know, a couple of meals and call it a day. That's been helpful for me in this journey. What also has been helpful when thinking about listening to my body and honoring my individual needs has been what my needs are as I go through my cycle, my menstrual cycle, that is. So I don't know if any of you have heard of cycle syncing. So I pretty much do cycle syncing to help me through my eating and my fitness activity level and things like that throughout the month. I can go into another video about that to give a more in-depth thing about what I do. If you want any other information, there are plenty of other videos out there that really go into cycle syncing and what it is. Basically, I try to eat in a way that honors the different phases of my menstrual cycle. My physical activity honors that as well. So basically, the closer I get to my period coming, my exercises look less intense as far as like HIIT exercises, high intensity exercises, high cardio. That kind of dwindles as I approach my period. And then once I'm on my period, like I said before in another video, I may or may not work out at all because I do get quite exhausted during my cycle. Hopefully that changes at some point. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But the long and short of it, that's pretty much what I do throughout the month. I can do a video that goes more in depth in that though, to really kind of tell you guys exactly how that what that looks like for me throughout the month. So yeah, honor yourself, think about your individual needs, and really pay attention to what those are, how you feel, and what is best for you, so that you can create a system for yourself that you're gonna do, that you're gonna be able to be consistent with. Because if you're not able to be consistent with it, then it's not gonna work and you're not gonna be able to reach your goals, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose like I do. So, tip number 3, get an accountability partner. Adding an accountability partner to my journey was instrumental in a shift for me, right? That got me out of this inconsistent pattern that I was in. So getting an accountability partner and allowing that person to hold me accountable, that's the key. It's one thing to say, oh, can you help me? Can you keep me on track? These are my goals. But then to actually allow the person to hold you accountable when you're slipping, that's something else, right? So you have to be real with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself that you're even ready to have an accountability partner, because you may not be. You may not be ready to have an accountability partner. But if you are, oh, the things that can happen. And I know that there's some people out there that'll say, oh, well, the desire to change has to be with you. Of course, the desire to change has to be with you. But that doesn't mean that you're not able to accept help and support from somebody else. We are social creatures, after all. So having someone to help you in that area can be beneficial, especially if it's someone that has had their own weight loss journey, has been successful in that. That, I think, adds another key to be able to allow that person to help you. And maybe I'll do a video on that, on the characteristics of a good accountability partner. You know what? I will, right? Because that makes all the difference as well. So basically, once I got an accountability partner, she basically called me on my bull and really held up that mirror to myself and said, hey, you said you were going to do this, you didn't do it. You said this is what you want, you're not doing it. And really like pushing me to move forward, take the next step, stay accountable, accountability partner, right? She was such a big help for me. Now I don't use an accountability partner anymore. It's not something I need anymore. I used her in that relationship to help me to build consistency, so that now I'm not inconsistent anymore. Yes, there are times that I fluctuate with what I'm doing, right? Maybe I didn't work out 5 days this week. Maybe I worked out 4. Maybe I worked out 3, right? But that's not typical. That is not typical for me. Most of the time, consistently, I work out 5 days a week. Most of the time, I track my food intake every single day. Granted, I don't necessarily have to do that because I'm cognizant of what I intake and how many calories that is, because I've been tracking for quite some time. But I still do it just to hold myself accountable, because I noticed that I started to kind of wane a little bit, where I'm just kind of maintaining and not necessarily losing. So now I'm back on tracking my food and stuff like that, but I don't need the accountability partner to allow me to do that. I'm able to do it myself now. So the accountability partner has been so helpful for me. I appreciate her and what she's done for me, and how I could trust her to be someone that helped me to help myself, right? So I would recommend an accountability partner. Tip number 4 is habit tracking. So I don't know if you guys have heard of bullet journaling. But basically, bullet journaling is a way for you to organize your life as a planner that you create yourself, right? And I was really into bullet journaling for a while, but it can be really overwhelming as far as creating these planners for yourself, right? Because there's, you're drawing, you're doing pictures, it's a creative outlet. It's a wonderful thing. I thoroughly enjoy it, but depending on what phases I am in my life at that time, I may or may not have the time to do all of the things that I would like to do to have an ideal bullet journal. So with that said, even though I don't necessarily bullet journal right now, the key points of it I still utilize in my own planner, because having a planner is instrumental for me. I am a planner by nature. It's who I am. So I like to plan. I like to organize things. I like to have my goals set out. I like to have a tangible thing available for me so I can look at things, right? So a habit tracker is basically a list of the things that you want to complete every day, right? But these are things that you want to complete every day. These are the same things, right? They're not necessarily, okay, well, what's on my to-do list today? It's not a to-do list. These are habits that you want to track, that you have a goal of doing every single day, right? So this list changes from time to time, because just like the accountability partner I don't use anymore, there are some things that I don't necessarily have to track anymore because they are a part of my routine now. So I don't need to track them. Now, the things that I needed help on are the things that I track. So like right now, this is the smallest my habit tracker has been in so long. Right now, the only things on my habit tracker are exercise, daily exercise, hitting my water goal, and 8 hours of sleep. Those are the only things on my habit tracker right now. And that is pretty amazing. I'm really happy to be at that place. I remember a space in time where I had like 10, 12 things on my habit tracker that, and to see it, and it was like, oh, you ain't doing this every day. You're not doing this every day. You're not, it was like, ooh, yikes. So having the habit tracker can either have that effect on you, right? Where you notice that you're not doing something every day, and it sparks this recognition with that, and then it motivates you to now do it every day, right? Or do it more often, right? Until it becomes more of a habit, right? Or it can work any other way, where you're not doing it every day, and then you say to yourself, is this something that really is important to me? Do I want to do this every day? Do I want this to be a part of my daily lifestyle? So it basically puts it in a tangible form where you can see the list, you can see your activity in that habit on a daily basis, or lack thereof, and use it to help to motivate you and change your behaviors, right? So that's what the habit tracker has done for me. And I think that that's something that's going to be a part of my routine forever for various different things. So yeah, I'm happy to be down to 3 key things, and those are the 3 key things that are very, very important in weight loss, right? So, and sometimes I fall short. So those are the things I want to make sure that I do on a daily basis, or at least as far as working out 5 days a week. So habit tracking, give it a try. Tip number 5 is self-care. So self-care can look different depending on the individual. For me, self-care is spirituality. Self-care is spending time with God. Self-care is prayer. Self-care is meditation. These are the things that I need to do on a daily basis, on a consistent basis, that keeps me grounded, that keeps me centered, that keeps me focused, that allows me to like stabilize my emotions and my thoughts and organize some of the feelings that I'm having, prioritize my goals. It does all of those things for me. You got to figure out what's going to work for you. As I said, my version of this is my relationship with God. Prayer is a big part of my life, and incorporating that into my wellness journey overall has been something that's been very helpful for me. So figure out what's the thing that you can use that's going to be for self-care, that's going to take care of you on many different levels, that's going to take care of you in a way that's going to allow you to see clearly, have motivation to reach your goals, whatever you can draw on, something that's going to allow you to draw on more than yourself when in the times that you don't feel like you have it, right? So figure what that's going to be for you. And that can be a big help. And it's certainly last but not least. To me, I think it was the most important thing for me. All right, so that's all 5 tips. Hopefully they can be a help to you. And hopefully, like, you know, you can use them and help you on your journey to get further along. Let me know if you have any questions, any thoughts, any comments, if these are things that you utilize in your journey, if there are other things that you guys utilize that I didn't mention, let me know and I can add it to mine and see if it can be a help for me. We're all in here trying to do the same thing, you know? So let's try to do this together and work it out. All right. Thank you guys. Bye. Like, comment, and subscribe.